From a young boy growing up in the post-war streets of Leningrad to becoming one of the most powerful and polarizing figures on the global stage, that's the story of Vladimir Putin. A man whose rise to power feels like a plot ripped straight from a Cold War thriller. But how did a kid from humble beginnings, living in a communal apartment, transform into the leader of one of the most formidable nations in the world? Born on October 7, 1952, in Leningrad, now St. Petersburg, Russia, Putin's early life was far from glamorous. He grew up in a small apartment, shared with other families. Life wasn't easy, but young Putin was tough, ambitious, and always thinking ahead. Even as a kid, he had his sights set on something bigger. He wanted to be a spy. Yes, a spy. It sounds like something out of a James Bond movie, but for Putin, it was real. He was obsessed with espionage, watching Soviet films that glorified KGB agents as national heroes. His dream was clear, and unlike most childhood fantasies, Putin made it happen. After studying law at Leningrad State University, he was recruited by the KGB in 1975. His dream was now reality. 4 years, Putin worked undercover for the KGB, stationed in East Germany during the height of the Cold War. But then the world shifted. The Berlin Wall came down, the Soviet Union crumbled, and Putin's career as a spy was over. In 1991, he resigned from the KGB and returned to Russia, but this wasn't the end of his story. In fact, it was just the beginning. Back in Russia, Putin entered the murky waters of politics. He worked under the mayor of St. Petersburg, Anatoly Sobchak, and quickly built a reputation as a no-nonsense, get-things-done kind of guy. He climbed the political ladder quietly, efficiently, and with the same calculated precision that made him a successful KGB officer. Fast forward to 1999. Russia was in turmoil, and President Boris Yeltsin needed someone to restore order. Out of nowhere, Putin was appointed as prime minister. Just a few months later, Yeltsin resigned, and Putin became the acting president of Russia. In the blink of an eye, the former spy was now the leader of the largest country in the world. In 2000, Putin officially won the presidential election, and his reign began. His first mission? Bring stability back to a chaotic Russia. He crushed the power of the oligarchs, reigned in regional governors, and took control of the media. Russia became more stable, but with stability came less freedom. To many Russians, Putin was a hero who brought pride and order back to the country. To others, especially in the West, he was seen as a man turning Russia into an authoritarian state. But one thing was clear: Putin was in control, and he had no plans of letting go. Internationally, Putin's reputation was a complex one. Early in his presidency, he seemed open to working with Western countries, but things quickly soured. Accusations of election meddling, cyber attacks, and military interventions in Georgia, Ukraine, and Syria made Putin a villain in the eyes of many Western leaders. Yet, at home, his popularity remained strong. Putin has always crafted an image of himself as a strong, decisive leader. He's often seen riding horses shirtless, playing hockey, practicing judo, a man of action. It's all part of the persona he's created, a leader who's tough, fearless, and always in control. But behind that image is a man who plays the game of power like no other. He's a chess master on the world stage, always thinking several moves ahead. And while his tactics may be controversial, they've kept him in power for decades. In fact, with changes to Russia's constitution, Putin could remain president until 2036, making him one of the longest-serving leaders in modern history. From the gritty streets of Leningrad to the Kremlin's iron grip, Putin's story is one of ambition, strategy, and the pursuit of power. And while his journey is far from over, one thing's certain: Vladimir Putin will continue to shape Russia and the world for years to come. Thanks for watching.